just 25, he has already driven $85 million in global retail sales, built brands from scratch, and was day trading before most kids had packed their school lunch. I'm Penny Lane, and In the Driver's Seat starts now. James Bozinovski is already reshaping the retail world. He taught himself how to trade in high school and has launched brands straight out of his teens, and now drives a multi-million-dollar business with clients such as Growth Bomb and the Perfect Cosmetics Company. And he has retail accounts in the UK, America, and Australia, and he is completely self-made. James, welcome to In the Driver's Seat.
Great to be here, Penny. Thanks for having me.
Now, you were day trading when you were at school. Tell me a little bit about how that started.
Yeah, I guess it was just, it was always something that I was a bit interested in, so I thought I'd spend some time on after school and more so during my early high school years. And yeah, I just fell in love with it. So it was something that I'd stay up and wait for the New York Stock Exchange to open up at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, whatever it was. And yeah, I just thought I'd give it a go. And yeah, it kind of snowballed from there and had a bit of luck there. It's not the easiest thing to learn and get a grasp of. It is. It's a lot of graphs and numbers and colours. So yeah, it was a bit of an entry into the bigger business world, which was great.
Yeah, and you launched your first brand at 21.
Yeah, we did. My business partner and I managed to launch kind of in the thick of COVID, which I feel like a lot of brands came from there. But yeah, we managed to launch our own D2C e-commerce brand, which was really, really exciting. So we did that, and yeah, it was quite of a bit of a niche brand, you know, catering to a very specific target market.
What is the brand?
So it's actually a gaming supplement brand. So it's a supplement brand that's made and designed specifically for gamers, brand called Cheat Code. So yeah, it was something that was quite new and something that we really wanted to innovate on and drive on. And yeah, we're very fortunate to have done really, really well with that so far, and still going to this day.
Fantastic. And you've got some major players on your books. Yep. Tell us a little bit about how that business came about.
Yeah, so I think I was pretty fortunate at a young age to kind of grow up in a very entrepreneurial family. My mum and dad are both in a similar game to me, and you know, when you're constantly exposed to all of that, it obviously makes it a lot easier. And you know, I think fortunately for me, I just loved it. Ever since I was very, very young, it was something that I was always very interested in. And you know, I remember when I was younger, my dad coming home and having new products and new brands and things like that. So I was always interested in it. And you know, I got some work experience from a very young age, and yeah, from there it kind of just snowballed, and here we are today.
Did you always know you were going to go into that kind of industry?
Yeah, I did. I think you know, early high school, probably when I was in year 7, year 8, year 9, I started to put the pieces together, and yeah, just tried to look for anywhere that I could kind of get my hands dirty really early on to get some work experience. You know, experience is one of the most valuable things that you can get your hands on, right? So you know, again, because I was pretty fortunate to get that from a young age, it was down to me from there to knuckle down, you know, and take it from there. So yeah.
Yeah, it might have been handed to you. You might have had that experience around you, but you're still the one that's got to get yourself to work every day.
Yeah, that's right.
Where does that motivation come from? Is it money, success? What is it? What's your motivation?
Yeah, I think you know, I think people have got very different views and opinions on it, and that's a really great question. But I think for me, money is definitely not the driver. I think money is a byproduct of all the good work that you do. And for me, you know, I think at the stage that we're at now with the businesses and the brands that we've got on board, I think it's really important to just make sure that we work with great brand partners, which we definitely do. And then from there, you know, whatever happens in the future happens, but that's not the focus at all. I think people who go into something or into business or, you know, anything with, you know, that as the main goal, you know, a lot of people do that, but that's not really what we're about. We want to work with great brand partners and offer a really high quality service that we do. And yeah, that's the main goal at this stage.
What's the main issue that you have with brand owners?
Yeah, I think it depends. I think obviously when people come to us, we do a lot of representation into the pharmacy and grocery game, right? So we know the space very, very well. And I think kind of educating brand owners on what that space looks like, trying to really communicate to them that this is what we need to do and this is how we're going to do it, when they're not across it and they don't have that insight and experience in the space is quite difficult. I think it's a very kind of niche space to get into as well. We specialise in account management and sales and distribution, right? So, there's not a lot of people out there that do kind of do that as a bit of a service. So, and a lot of the people that do it are these, sales brokerages and pharma brokerages that have been around for 25, 30 years, right? So we're obviously not that old, and we want to kind of come into the space, really disrupt it and put a bit of a Gen Z spin on it, which is good.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah.
And what changes are you seeing in retail at the moment?
Yeah, it's a very interesting space at the moment. Grocery and pharmacy are very different spaces and very different landscapes. I think, touching on grocery first and foremost, it's no secret that the disposable income of Australians is no longer what it was, and there's opportunities and challenges with that at the same time. Working on beauty brands like we do. Beauty brands, some of them are very premium products, some of them are not. So I guess you've kind of got to shift consumer preferences and behaviours to try and make sure that flows through into your programs that you have in stores, right? So that's from everything from your brand positioning to your marketing strategy to how you attract consumers to shop your brand when people might not necessarily have the income or the disposable income to pay for that, right? So and that's different again to staple items. We've got a massive brand in our portfolio right now that's been around for 25, 30 years, and that's more of a staple product. So that's, again, very, very different. So grocery is very challenging at the moment. Pharmacy, again, is a very difficult space. But, I think at the end of the day, Penny, you've just got to make sure that you play to the strengths in your brand. And for us, we love working with brand partners who, they've got well-established brands, but at the same time, we do work with small to medium brands to try and help them break in. So, yeah.
Yeah, amazing. And all this time that you've had your business, all this time, the few years that you've had your business, your success is phenomenal. It blows me away. I'm so impressed.
Thank you.
Has there been any moments where you've thought, oh, sugar, I've bitten off more than I can chew?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
What were they? And how did you get through them?
Yeah, 100%. I think, as I said, retail is a very cutthroat space. Yeah. If you're not performing, it's pretty easy for you to get booted out of some of the majors. But I think some of the biggest challenges that we've had, Penny, are just COVID was an incredibly stressful time, right? For some of our brands, we're actually still feeling the impacts to this day, right? Really? Which is crazy to think. But 3, 4, 5 years down the road, we are still feeling some of those. But each challenge and each brand and each channel has its own challenge respectively. Have I wanted to throw in the towel plenty of times? Absolutely. But I wasn't raised that way. My family's been. I've got a really great support network around me, thankfully, and it's always just persistence. Persistence always pays off.
Yeah, and a lot of people, when you talk about established brands, they're usually old chucks like me, and. Do you have any difficulty trying to get the older generation with these established brands to come across to somebody that's young and got the whole world ahead of him, I suppose, but not the experience?
Absolutely, yeah. I think, some of the older brands and more traditional brands, I think the game has really changed in the last 5, 10 years. Probably more so before COVID, but especially after COVID as well. Like the amount of noise that there is now in the market with online D2C brands, brands that just sell online purely from an e-commerce point of view. Yeah. There's a lot of noise now, right? So I think
cluttered, isn't it?
It is, and for us, obviously, we want to communicate to our brand partners that, in order to get the right cut through, you need to have something that's unique. You need to have a very clear and strong message to get that cut through, right? Because if you don't, you just get lost. And for us, I think we do specialise more so from a sales and distribution lens, working with the retailers, but just from the experience from having my own brands at the same time, and more so with Cheat Code with my business partner, it's really important that we try and give them some guidance on that stuff as well. Yeah.
And what was the moment where you realised that you weren't just hustling and you were actually building something? Yeah,
I think it was kind of a bit of a avalanche or snowball, really. Yeah. I think there's a saying where you kind of keep plugging away and grinding and nothing really happens, and then it all hits all of a sudden. I think when we realised that we could get the big name brands that we've got in our portfolio now for our sales brokerage, that's when it kind of hit me. We can do this, and it's not me, it's my team as well. Like, I've got an amazing team underneath me. We're we're pretty tight and small at this stage, but you know, the plan is to expand in due course. And yeah, I think once we started realising that we can definitely get a hold of the bigger name brands to come to us and have a bit of a spin on it, that's when it probably hit. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so impressed. So $85 million in retail sales. When you're on the front cover of all these financial magazines, I'm going to say I knew him. Why do brands? Why can brands trust you for the long haul?
Yeah, great question again. I think for me, and this is something that I've always preached and I was kind of taught from a very, very young age, but I think for me, hard work beats talent, Penny.
Yeah, it does.
I think, you know, you can have all the talent in the world, but if you put someone who's very talented next to somebody who's going to work 12, 16-hour days, they'll always come out on top, right? So for us, it's just the work ethic. I think that I instill on all my team underneath me, and you know, if you can have an amazing team that works hard for all the brands individually, that's how you're going to succeed, right? And you know, of course, we can't guarantee anything, and we can't guarantee success. And any sales guy, whoever promises you that, is lying to your face, right? But what we can promise is that we will fight tooth and nail for every single brand that we have in our portfolio, and we will do absolutely what we have to in the best interest of all our brand partners. Yeah.
Yeah, I've really seen that with working with you, that your work ethic is phenomenal, and you certainly don't shy away from hard work, and I'll often get emails from you at midnight. And I think that's something that's really changed over the years. Like a hard day's work is almost frowned upon now.
Yeah.
And I like to see somebody younger that's actually putting the hard yards in. It's really refreshing.
Absolutely.
But when all the work stops and the laptop closes, what do you do for fun?
What do I do for fun? I think golf.
Yeah.
I love playing golf, so I play golf with my best mate every Sunday.
Yes.
My old man loves his golf as well, so I get out with him every now and again. But yeah, I think, look, I'm not too focused on that at this stage, to be honest with you, Penny. I think we've got a big 5-10 years ahead for me, my brands, and all the people in the business as well. So yeah, hopefully once that happens and everything fixes up, we'll have a bit more spare time, which will be good.
Fantastic. And what's the best advice you've ever been given, and did you take it?
Yeah, I've had a lot of good advice in my time, and I think, you know, I think I've got a few different pieces of advice. I think more so from a personal lens and from a career lens. Both go hand in hand sometimes, and I think some advice that I actually saw online once was that it too shall pass. So at the end of the day, when the odds are stacked against you and when something's not going to plan or according to plan, it'll pass, right?
Yeah.
And I think for us, as I said to you before, we can't guarantee anything to anybody, and retail is an incredibly tough and competitive environment at this stage. But the main thing for me is that once we do come up against adversity, I always say to my team that we've just got to knuckle down. You've got to keep going through it, try the best to get the best outcome possible, and from there, if it doesn't, you move on and you keep building, right? That's the most important thing, and I think that ties into just never giving up.
Yeah, that's awesome advice. It's good to see such a young role model absolutely killing it. I like to see people like you. For my little boy that's coming through the ranks, it's great to see. So
Absolutely.
Good on you, James. Thank you so much for joining me in the driver's seat.
Thanks, Penny. Thanks for having me.
In the Driver's Seat is brought to you by the Perfect Cosmetics Company. This is Ticker, and we'll be right back.
You're watching Ticker. We'll have more in just a few minutes.